and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles.
What's on my mic?
Brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions.
Hey, yo, Shawn Porter.
Broken?
No, what's on my mic, man?
Live from Los
Why are you talking over my track?
Oh, my bad. It's the remix. This is the
Are you gonna
remix.
freestyle?
I be the one with the rollie on.
Just fade it out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Porter Way Podcast.
Yeah.
That was Domino.
Don't do that. Don't do
I
that.
ain't gonna go there.
All right, cool.
What the hell was that? That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was him. That was crazy. Sean's hungry.
Nah, it was the Canada Dry. It's just in there. Yeah, it's doing something to my chest.
So let me ask this to our listeners, not to you.
All right. Wow.
I'm putting this on wax.
Uh-oh.
What is your go-to ginger ale? Everyone listening, comment in the video.
Go to ginger ale.
Because you already know what mine is. Midwest, Verner's, all day.
Don't say Midwest like Canada Dry. Don't be floating all through the
Verner's was
the
created
Midwest.
in Michigan. We grew up in Ohio.
Well, educate me.
So Verner's, I need ginger ale that's gonna burn my chest. I'm also sure you could have like 105
Do you drink?
fever. No, but I feel like Verner's is the closest simulation to that.
I need something to go. I ain't gonna say it. That was gonna sound wild.
Verner's, I feel like you could have like a fever, you could have like an ear infection, and you drink a can of Verner's, and you're good money.
So you said
My opinion.
You said you had something to say about my shoes.
Yeah, your shoes and your socks. You have the cookie socks on, and then so the shoes, which I actually like. I don't love a lot of your fashion, but I like the shoes.
Hey,
so
listen, let's
they're
let's
clean.
Let's get another.
They clean. Hey, match the tie.
Let's get closer.
Match the watch.
Always talking about.
Hey,
so
hey.
this is what I do.
So let me say on the shoes.
You see that?
What they say?
I can't read it. Oh, does it say Showtime?
Yes, sir.
Say Cal Brook.
You've been wearing those. You've been wearing those shoes.
We've been wearing them a little bit.
I was
Custom,
always that,
baby.
I was
Custom.
always that guy too. That like if I buy
Oh,
something
you got custom
somewhat
money?
nice, I'm wearing
Custom.
them. So here's my question: those shoes remind me of a marshmallow when you're grilling on the on a campfire.
Yeah, if
So-
you go too long and then
That's my question to you. I don't know what's your campfire experience, Ant?
Oh, I went camping about 3 months ago. We didn't do s'mores or nothing.
So
like
where
that.
are you at with a marshmallow? Where is your preferred level of marshmallow with the s'more?
I don't
First
eat.
of all,
I don't
my-
eat marshmallows.
all my camping was done in my backyard. So there it is.
So there's no there was no marshmallows? Okay.
So we doing a camping trip?
new.
So I'm just completely dolo. You've never had a s'more? You
Oh,
never?
I've had some
That's the question.
made it in the house.
What the hell kind of a s'more is that? That's a rich people
Right?
s'more.
No, who's talking
100%.
about? No, that's a black people s'more. We ain't about to go cut up no
Outside.
wood and make it happen. So go take your ass in the kitchen and hold it over
Over
the
the
fire.
stove?
Yeah.
So I for me, you need the marshmallow. It needs to catch on fire for me personally.
Okay.
Just for a second.
Yeah,
It needs to just catch on fire for a second. Yeah. Blow it out and it's good. Because
You ever get it? Oh, that wasn't long enough.
Yeah. Then you put it back in there. But yeah, I think it needs to be right there. It needs to be on fire a little bit. But some people say it needs to just be golden. But
I've seen people use it on their fireplaces. Do it on their fireplaces. You don't got a fireplace?
No.
Broke boy. I got two. You got a fire. I ain't gonna ask you. You got a fireplace, don't you?
No, not in my house. Growing up, I did that.
Are you ever gonna use your fireplace?
I no. Every time I turn it on, it's like $5 a day.
You paid for it. I ain't paying for no
so yours
fireplace.
what is it, gas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had an actual
Oh man,
fireplace.
this is
Absolutely.
Vegas. This
Yeah,
is
I
Las
know, I know
Vegas.
that.
Yeah,
I ain't
absolutely.
gonna chopping trees.
It was 100% like in your mind. It always felt like the thing to do. Like it'd be cool. You're like, yeah, let's fire something.
But
up.
then when it
and then it's fired up, and like 5 minutes later, you're like, yes, it's stupid. I'm good.
It gets hot fast.
For sure. It's gotten cold here fast though.
Yeah.
It's been a little brisk.
So listen, we're about to get Tank Davis's coach Calvin Ford on the line. We're gonna call him up for a Zoom interview.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: I know y'all are probably saying, "Well, why didn't you just get Tank?" I wanted to get a different perspective. I think we hear from the fighters all the time, and so I just wanted to do something a little different and hear from Coach Cal and see what he had to say about.
Maybe we'll talk to Tank another time.
Yeah.
So don't give me that bull. Don't give me that bull. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, hey, we got who we got, and Calvin Ford is gonna give us some great insight.
Don't
I'm
ever
sure.
question the TPW.
What's that?
The Porter way.
Well, come on.
That wasn't bad though. It was right on the money.
Let's bring him in. Let's bring him in. All right, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Calvin Ford, one of the best coaches out there, down there in the Baltimore, D.C. area. How you feeling?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. It's an honor to be here with y'all today.
Congratulations. Lot of big
Thank
stuff
you.
going on for you and your team down there.
Yeah, we just trying to be making some noise. We've been on that same trail. Pro, mess with Howell Turnoff from Salisbury, Maryland. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
That's
is
been
that
a lot of years?
Yeah.
Been falling a bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
hey, we all come like I
That's how
said.
far I can take you back. I could go as far. Yeah, I can go farthest back with you from the amateurs too. That's how long I've been around. People don't know it.
Do you know it? Do you remember any fights that you saw me with? Anybody down there from your camp?
Man, I remember Cecil was around, but y'all never went against each other or anything. But we was around when Cecil was around and whatnot. But I used to watch y'all because I was just coming in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Then Ward was making his little run. That's why I'm like the young coach, but I was always around all y'all when y'all was making y'all moves.
And my dad was the same way. It was like if you're doing the right things, you're listening to everybody else, and you're trying to be in everyone's huddle.
Yeah.
Even though they haven't exactly said, "Hey, come on in here," you try to get as close to the huddle as you can to get that information, with the hopes that eventually you wind up where my dad is, where I am, you and Tank and a bunch of other coaches out there. And speaking on that, let me go back just a little bit. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but I definitely want to go back to the clip that I sent you of us just kind of having some fun on the show, and you were brought up and how you correlate with the show.
The Wire.
Hey, I apologize.
So what my question is, so coming out of prison, was that your plan, your goal was to get into boxing and to reach out and help?
Nah, to tell you the truth, it wasn't on my mind, to tell you the truth. That's the funny thing about it. I was coming home to start a baker, because that's what I did the whole time I was in. I was working on my coordinating skills on learning how to bake, and I was real good at it. So I wanted to come home and start a place where I could take kids and fix cakes and apple cobblers and all that stuff, and they had the party there at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was working for Phillips Food. I had worked my way all the way up as the youngest African American manager in a company, and I had just purchased a house. And my nephew and my son was in the basement hitting the bag, and I said something to my cousin, because my cousin used to box. I said, "Yo, you taught them anything?" They said, "Nah." So Marvin McDowell, that they got the books before hooks, he had the gym on the west side, but I lived way on the east side, but my job was on the west side. So I said, man, I got to drive all the way on the east side, pick up the kids, drive all the way back on the west side, and then go all the way back home. I said, man, I ain't trying to do it. And it so happened, Marilyn Miley started the gym with Hassan Rockman, won the title. This is the crazy thing. Hassan left Baltimore and went to Vegas.
Yep.
And I just happened to step in the gym with my kids, right? And was in there working out. For me, being in prison for so long, working out and keeping in shape, Mr. Leon Fitzgerald said, man, all the kids gravitate to you. You know what I'm saying? I need a guy like you. And the rest was history.
Boom.
I got two questions just to follow up on that immediately. So first off, what is the Calvin for? If somebody's like, give me the best baked item you can make, what's the go-to right now? Somebody gets you in the kitchen.
Cheesecake. I was cheesecake. That's how I got on with Phillips
Cheesecake.
Food.
Hey, let me get 2 cheesecakes.
Cheesecake Calvin Ford?
Oh no! Don't do that to him.
That's not a nickname. Yeah,
That's my special.
So my other question is Wire related, because it is one of my favorite shows of all time. Outside of Cuddy, obviously based on you, if you were an actor on The Wire, what character would you have wanted to play?
What character I would play? I would play actually myself.
All right, let's get back to boxing. Beginners, beginning of the 6th round. Did you tell him to go out there and do that boy like that?
In the sixth round, that I remember Santa Cruz was going to make his run in the 5th round. You know what I'm saying? He said he was going to take Tank in the deep water in the 5th round. So if you notice in that fight in the 5th round, Santa Cruz was standing still. And I was like, dang, he don't want to fight that fight like that. And they was going at it. At that 6th round, that 5th round, it started it off. And when Tank hit him in the body, they said it was a low blow. If you go back and look at the tape, it wasn't a low blow. He felt them body shots. So that's what really opened the fight up for Tank when he got hit with that body shot the first time. You know what I'm saying? Because we kept dialing in on an uppercut. If you look at from the round 1 all the way up until he got caught with that shot, we was looking at it. It's a shot that I call it trickeration, or punch to the ceiling. He threw the uppercut to the ceiling and caught him perfectly with it.
Yeah, and that punch started from the very first round. And my whole thing is, as a fighter, you have to be able to recognize what your opponent wants to do.
Right.
That punch, I mean, you came into the ring with the uppercut. Did you know that was going to be money for you at some point during the night?
If you go back and look at Santa Cruz fight, he leans when he punch. He leans over. The fight that I really studied to watch him real good was Abu Mars and Santa Cruz. That was the best fight because a lot of time he had his head down throwing punches. He wasn't even looking, to tell you the truth. You know, so I knew we had Tank. Tank didn't even know. Like Tank will watch fights, but I don't get him into watching fights like that. I tell him to watch fights where he enjoy watching it. You with me? Let me watch the fight because what I do is I train him to throw the punches that I need him to do so they can come off. It just comes straight off when I need him to come off, you know? But sometimes when you watch tapes and you wait for a guy to do something, he might have changed his whole MO up, or he might have trained with somebody else to imitate them to look way different. And I had that happen to me with other guys that I went to the ring with, and you notice a guy don't fight the same when you get there.
So Coach, real quick, that's something that you actually try to pull your fighters away from watching too much film or watching what someone else does, with just basically protecting them from themselves of picking up someone else's habits or trying to do something else instead of being themselves. Right.
And you find a lot of coaches and everybody doing that. They have the fighter watching the fight and he looking for them to make a certain move. Doesn't happen.
Was there anything as far as that? You mentioned Leo possibly changing stuff up, kind of preventing Tank from that. Was there anything that surprised you about what Leo did that night? Because, it was a close fight early on.
That's what surprised me because he was watching All Access. He was moving correctly. He brought in the strengthening, so I'm saying that he's doing different stuff and I'm looking at him and say, okay, so I'm figuring that's what he's going to do. He's going to try to stay from the big shots. He's going to try to stay away from Tank. But he didn't do that. He fought Leo.
Coach, that's
and
crazy.
I was like, oh my God, you really want to do that?
That's crazy. So y'all not in the camp, but you watching Access to find out what's really going on in the camp.
Man, guess what? You get information any way you can, man.
You a dirty dude. You a dirty dude for that. Go ahead.
Yeah, me and Shawn was talking. All three of us was talking before the fight. We was like, Frampton, Morris, he gets in brawls and everything. And I seen you on All Access telling no matter what, he wants to brawl. And when I was thinking about, we was talking about this whole fight. This guy's different. You can't brawl with this dude. You brawl with this dude, you might die. Like, but yeah. So, and it just, I remember you saying it. No matter what he had planned, his body just went back to brawling, and that's where he can't get in that cage with him.
That's your DNA. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody have a DNA. I don't care who's training, who's around you. You got a DNA. You're going to switch something right now. But if something goes wrong, you're going to result back to your old stuff at some point. And the only way they pull you back after the bell ring, you'll go back into what y'all was working on. But sometimes when the fight get heated, you're going back to your DNA.
I love what you said, Coach. We all have a DNA. Your DNA and your DNA aligns right in with Tank's DNA. And I know Tank came out to Vegas and did a major portion of this camp in Vegas, even prior to you being here. Were you worried at all about his DNA changing about anything or lack?
No, because Tank, you know Tank grew up with me. That's my baby. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We're in tune. Actually, when Floyd got in his ear, enhanced what he was doing, to tell you the truth, because guess what? We still ain't seen the best of Tank yet. You know what I'm saying? We ain't seen the best of Tank. I know what Tank is capable of doing. It's just him learning how to be patient and don't look for the knockout. If you always listen to my interviews, I don't like knockout. I like when a guy get punished. When he get punished, and when they ask him the question, "Oh, who's your best fight?" He gonna remember. Most time you get caught with a shot, you don't remember when you got caught with a shot.
Absolutely.
But when a guy really whoop you, you're gonna remember that.
and you mentioned Floyd and kind of getting involved there. It was something we mentioned after the fight. How do you, you're the main coach, obviously, how do you balance that where you want Floyd to have input but don't want him to kind of take over? How do you balance that out?
Well, man, Floyd, we have our conversation. I respect Floyd respect me, and we grew to have an understanding with each other, But like I look at it, I'm standing with greatness. So listening to him is helping me to be great too. You know what I'm saying? Because he been in the ring doing it. You know what I'm saying? I raised Tank. So it's like having two how would I sit there and say navigators. You know what I'm saying? One is getting more in depth in the ring, and one been watching and knowing what to say to him to actually bring up the best.
I love it. Hey, listen, Coach, we're gonna let you go, but before we do that, we know that in boxing there's a couple things that's gonna happen. It's gonna be what the team wants, it's gonna be what the business wants, and then it's gonna be what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen next for Tank?
Well, to my understanding, it's based. I always say this too: if it doesn't make dollar sense, it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, I want him to stay on that pay-per-view level and whatnot. Because it's a good look. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, when it's all over, you want to make sure you can take care of your family and everything. And like yourself, you're doing great. So if you choose to stop boxing, you got a career. So what I'm trying to make sure that he make the right decision, put his money up, do what he wants. He's still young. You with me? So right now, I just go off with Al, Floyd, what them to do. Once the contract comes past my desk, I get them ready for whoever they put in front of them.
You got any names out there, particular? Any names in particular?
Shucks. It's only two people that on the business side. I don't think they will let Tank fight. What's his name? That just from Top Rank. I don't know if they'll let him fight right off the back. I don't think Bob would do that right away. You know what I'm saying? Because I know he want to see some dollars because he ain't make a lot of money from off that fight first. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know where their situation is. Ron Garcia, that's maybe a person I'm really, because he always taking a pen, sticking Tank with it all the time. So that's a person that I like to see him, because Tank was supposed to put Tevin Farmer, but Tevin Farmer messed that up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Ron always saying something. So people and his numbers, they would like to see that fight,
I hear you, Coach. Well, listen, we are proud of you.
They the only two that I look at.
I hear you.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We're proud of you. Congratulations. And we look forward to seeing not only Tank, but seeing you real soon.
Hey, Coach, before you
Thank
go.
you. I appreciate that, man. You keep doing what you're doing, Sean.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Yes,
Coach,
sir.
before you go, don't do Ryan like that.
Don't do Ron. Hey, I don't know. Ron come to party. I like him. He come to party. So it'll be a different look, though. He come to party, so we'll see.
Take care, Coach. Have a great night.
You too. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. Calvin Ford.
Yeah.
Cheese. I ain't gonna do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Oh no. The reason I said no is because there's a character on The Wire that's name is Cheese.
No, I was gonna
cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Yeah. When you said cheese, I was like, wait a second. That's a whole different character.
That's cheesecake right there. Oh man,
that's Mr. Ford right there.
Yeah, that's Mr. Ford right there. I know. I just cause I'm me. I couldn't hold it in.
What, calling him Mr. Ford?
Nah, calling him cheesecake.
That's Mr. Ford.
Yeah. I feel like he has a lot of names now. He's got Cuddy as his, kind of his alias on The Wire.
Right.
Hey,
Mr.
one thing
Ford,
I didn't
Calvin,
ask him,
Coach
run by you guys. Now Gervonta is officially a prize fighter.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think I think he's already solidified it prior to this fight with Tank, or excuse me, with
Leo.
Leo, I like that.
Yeah.
However, I think that he needed that kind of name to
Lennox
really,
Lewis.
And the way he did it.
And the way he did
He had
it.
people that don't even know boxing calling me.
And that knockout clip that they posted, but that did numbers across, like, it was on ESPN's main Twitter. It was on, so it did big numbers.
Yeah, and it was supposed to. That
for sure.
That wasn't just a knockout of the year. That was definitely a knockout of, like I said, new decade here, but it's already
set the bar high.
He set the bar extremely high, and I'm looking forward to what's next for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him.
Ryan.
Yeah, I don't want to see him in the ring. I was about to say I don't want to see him in the ring with Ryan.
I want to see Tank. No, I do for Tank's side.
Yeah.
From Tank's side, sure, I want to see him in the ring with Ryan Garcia.
How many rounds you give Ryan? We're down to that now. How many rounds you gonna
3.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
I give him 2.
3.
I feel like Coach is he's out to ruin careers.
Yeah, Coach.
Hey, man.
Coach
I
said
think
he
Coach
in
is
the
out there.
hurting
Yeah,
business.
he said I don't care about knockouts.
Yeah.
Hurt them. Make sure they remember what happened for a long
That's
time.
just unpleasant.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just an unpleasant.
I'm like, I'm
He
listening
old
to him.
school.
Yeah, man.
But that's my dad's is the same way. My
You're
dad
not wrong, though.
come back to the corner like, we're gonna keep punishing them. I'm like, no, I'm ready to go home.
Right.
You know what I mean? Tell me how to save him up so we can go home. Keep punishing them. Like Coach said, I just want a punishment.
Yeah.
God dang.
Yeah, 'cause he said usually you don't remember the shot you got hit with, but if somebody whoops your ass for the whole fight, you're gonna remember it. And
Yeah.
I would imagine so.
Let's talk about last night, man. Let's talk about this DAZN, and let's talk about Devin Haney, because we're gonna stay within that weight class right around there.
I'm
And
gonna
of
let my man
course,
Carson start this.
and of course, he's another name that's being thrown out there along with Tank Davis. And
He also
and
beefs with
Teofimo.
Tank as far as like Ryan Garcia does. They had some interaction
Right
on Twitter and
right
whatnot.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I know you know me. I don't really get into the Twitter and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, but that's pretty entertaining for some people who are really
It
on
is.
top of it. Huh?
And I think at some point it builds into it. Like
It-
you're really getting. There's a level like there's like, oh yeah, kind of trash talk. But if you like really fire off some tweets that are like, whether it's personal or if you're just continually going at somebody, like kind of like Coach Ford said, it's something where I think if they get Devin Haney in the ring, it's not going to be, hey, knock this dude out. It's going to be, let's punish this dude for 12
No,
rounds.
they going to punish
Yeah.
him. They're
And
not.
this is kind of something that boxing needs, like a
Yeah.
more outside the ring type of deal.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like the dude explains it on another podcast. He calls it wrestling, like the build up,
Yeah.
the extra BS. Boxing needs all that.
Yeah, boxing does need that
especially
extra
where we're at in
BS.
the social media age.
Yeah.
all that. People love that.
And I think that's what we're seeing. Where Teofimo is he 13-0, 12-0 now.
I thought it was more than that.
Lopez, he's 16.
Lopez. Oh, excuse me,
Yeah, I thought
16-0.
it was closer towards 20.
Cut that. He's 16. Well, we're at a point now where Teofimo is 16-0.
Yeah,
5 years ago, if you were 16-0, nobody knew who you were.
Yeah.
sure.
You know, so the guys who are coming up now, not only are they in the social media era, they actually know how to use it.
Yeah.
Me, I just said it. Like, I don't really care for Twitter or like that.
Yeah.
I do my posting that I need to post, but I don't really care. But it's beneficial, especially when you're young and
And if it's young guy to young guy.
yeah.
Because again, that's somebody that's like, that's how you, like we grew up playing, like we go play basketball. We're talking trash in person. This is boxing and they're able to do that, you know, on one side of the country to the other side of the country
Right.
and get reactions. So
And the funny thing about it is that's another disconnect with boxing. Boxing really is kind of a older crowd or older sport.
yeah.
And so you don't have 13-year-olds wanting to watch boxing. You don't have 18-year-olds wanting to watch boxing. However, you get a young guy who's 20, 21, is a world champion now, is hip, is on the scene and is chatting and all that
like
kind
saying
of
hip
stuff.
and on the scene immediately showed that you
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I
I didn't know how to.
he's getting jiggy with
I didn't know how to explain it. You know. So, but when you have that, now
Yeah.
you're bringing in a new a
For
crowd
sure.
that's needed in the sport of boxing.
Sure. And then to go back to the fight last night with Devin Haney and your Yorkies Gamboa, it was Devin Haney did what he had to do. It was a good performance. My biggest issue is he set himself up with these expectations.
Hey, let's flip it real
Okay.
quick. Let's flip it because I feel like this is what's done in boxing. I think everybody's always looking for the perfect performance. They're always
Yeah.
looking for outstanding and grand. And when it's not, everybody's quick to point out what's wrong.
I mean, every boxer I've heard you do it. Every boxer do it. Like,
Everyone.
This
does
is gonna
it.
be an exciting night. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get this guy out of here.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is after the fact, most people are looking at it's two things happening. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
On one hand, you're looking at everything the person did wrong.
Yeah.
Or if it was a Tank type of performance, you're like, hey, so what's
Everything
next?
they did right,
So
yeah.
what's next? So what's next? You know what I mean? Like, let's stay in the moment and talk about what he did well.
Well, my concern to counter that and what I was saying is that's fine and good. If you watch his fight last night without anything else involved, he did well. He beat former world champion, skilled boxer, whatever.
Yeah.
The issue is the matter of comparisons between his contemporaries with Teofimo with Tank, and when you set yourself up like today, if I came in here and I was like, yeah, I think we'll have a decent podcast today, and it's good, fine, no issue.
Right.
If I come in, I'm like, yo, Ant, we're gonna have the greatest podcast of all time, and then it's good. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
that wasn't it.
Yeah.
So when Devin Haney, when he comes in there and says, I want to drop him more than Bud did, or and then you compare him to guys like Tank and Teofimo that have these historic performances, and then you just have a really good performance. That's where it takes the shine off that a little bit.
And for me, when I recognized that I was about to turn it on, immediately my mind went to not comparing what at that point what Devin is gonna do compared to anyone else. My whole thing was, and still is right now, Yuriorkis Gamboa was a measuring stick for Devin Haney. And anyone who knows boxing knows that. So that's all I did.
At 135.
And that's all I did. I used that as a measuring stick to tell me where Devin Haney is now as a professional boxer, being 25-0. Where are you now? He's still got some work to do.
He's not the knockout.
Which is it's no big deal. Still got some work to do.
He's young.
You know, and he's young.
For sure.
He can what I saw the other night, I saw him stay locked in. That for me, if you guys don't know, I'm gonna say it, and so y'all know. When I watch boxing, the number one thing I'm watching is a guy's intelligence. I'm looking at a guy's mentality throughout the fight. And to see Devin Haney against Yuriorkis Gamboa, a guy who's not exactly dirty, but not exactly fair, a guy who's not exactly boxing, but a guy who isn't just in there roughhousing it and wrestling all night. He's like in between. Devin Haney maintained his composure throughout the night. And that's what you need to see, especially from a young guy who is a world champion now at this point. You want to see, for me, I want to see, where are you mentally? I'm going to see where you're at physically. I'm going to see the speed, the power, the quickness, the counter punchability, all that kind of stuff, or lack thereof. What I need to see is what most people can't see, and that's how do you look when you go back to the corner? How attentive are you to your coach? What is your coach saying? Thought the information coming from Dad was okay yesterday. It was decent information, but overall, I just thought that he had it wasn't exciting, and it was just above dull. It got the job done, and I think he's gonna learn some things from the experience. And the best part about it is now he has that name underneath his belt, and now he can move forward onto another bigger name, and especially after going 12 rounds. I think for the first time in his career.
I wonder if he also learns. You mentioned learning.
No, he went 12 rounds a few times.
He did. Okay.
He's not a knockout artist like that.
Right. When you mentioned learning from, I think he'll learn from the experience in the ring, just being in there. Like Gamboa, definitely, he was holding a lot. He literally got a point taken for holding.
Right.
I think he'll learn from that. I also am wondering if he's going to learn from the experience of setting yourself up to fail, expectation-wise.
Yeah.
Because again, more power to you. He's young. He's a champion. He's really young. So it's like, great. That's good.
He's like 23.
I think he's 22.
22.
No, he's going to turn.
Young kid.
I think he's going to turn 22 or turn 23. His birthday's coming up. Happy early birthday. But with that, I think if he went into that fight and didn't have any expectations or set himself up for that, I think it was great. But you're putting yourself in a tough spot, because then on Twitter or in general, nobody, if he had set himself up for that, they would have said, oh, it was a good fight. It wasn't overly exciting, but it was a good fight.
Right.
But then everyone's like, you didn't drop him. You didn't hurt him at any point in the fight.
It's a pride thing, too.
For sure.
Young kids, somebody saying something on Twitter, I got to say something back.
Yeah, for sure.
It's at the end of the day, it's pride.
Is that how it goes on the world of Twitter?
So I think,
get yourself on the tweeter.
I think he'll learn from that. And then, but also it is something where it's tough not to compare that to the guys in his weight class and the guys right around there.
Yeah. No, I ain't gonna front. It is tough.
Going into it, you don't want to compare it to Teofimo, who has a historic upset over Lomachenko,
right?
Or Tank, who has a historic knockout against Leo Santa Cruz. My
thing was comparing Devin Haney's performance last night against Gamboa compared to
when Tank fought him.
Tank's fight against Gamboa.
And I actually didn't even do that as much. I know people did, but
I got a feeling everybody did.
I compared it more to the more recent fights for the other two, for Teofimo and Tank. But yeah, it was an okay fight. He won again. It's a guy to have on your resume.
Yeah,
it's not peak.
Yeah,
Yorkies Gamboa.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It was,
and if we're being real, it's not peak Devin Haney either.
No, I don't think so. Coming off of shoulder surgery as well, which is something that has to factor in.
Yeah. And I saw patience in the ring. You know what I mean? I feel like whatever people felt he didn't have physically, I think he made up for it mentally in his preparation and the game planning that he and his dad have done to get prepared to fight Gamboa, and then also how they put it down in the ring the other night. You know, he didn't rush himself. It was that last round. He's like, hey, man, I want to try to make a statement. Yeah. He's not going to hurt me at this point. And, you know, he was starting to let go. I'm be honest, I was like, I wanted to see that about earlier. 4 or 5 rounds earlier. About 4 or 5 rounds earlier, because one thing that I thought of as I was watching the fight was my fight with Kell Brook. It was definitely a learning experience, a lot of faults on my behalf, but there were things that I could gain from that fight. Yeah. And the number one thing I gained from that fight, I don't think there's been anyone I've allowed to hold me or
get you off your game plan,
get me off my game plan, or lock me up or anything like that. A word lighter than hold, you know.
So it was a learning lesson.
Yeah.
But you'd rather get the W when you learn. But
definitely, you ready to get the W and get that lesson as well. I think that's something that Devin's going to be able to go back and take a look at. How was I able to get this guy off of me in the 12th round, and what didn't I do earlier in the fight? You know, so I felt like if that had happened earlier, if he had been rough back, if he had been stronger back towards Gamboa, I think even psychologically he would have sent Gamboa somewhere where I thought I saw Gamboa going around the 5th or 6th round.
It got hot for a second.
Yeah, I don't think. Kind of going back to what Calvin Ford said with the DNA, I think it's going to be important for Devin Haney to know who he is. Mm-hmm. You're not Gervonta Davis. Mm-hmm. You're not Teofimo Lopez, which is fine. Mm-hmm. You're a world champion in your super early 20s,
and you're not
a huge power.
You're not
puncher.
Mayweather. You're not Floyd Mayweather.
You're Devin Haney.
You know, and I'm not saying that to be disrespectful, but when he comes out and I see his hand cocked like this, but he's also juggling it up and it's down here. It's almost like I don't know how I want to.
Well, maybe that's Devin Haney
in the ring.
Yeah, could be.
Well, right here we know with this.
Yeah, we know.
With this
we know the statue.
The shoulder roll.
We know the statue is.
You know, There's other guys who carry their hand low, you know, but it's not exactly like this. Yeah. And my thing is, I saw it here, then I saw it moving, I saw it up, and I saw it down.
But I'm saying maybe that's his thing. You just don't like how he uses it.
I feel like it's a sign of him not knowing his identity.
Yeah.
And him trying to figure it out.
Which again is something that's going to happen as a young champion, young fighter.
At 23, you didn't.
Yeah. I think it's just going to be he needs to, in the business of where he's, you know, talking trash, which again is fine. But you have to know I'm not those guys. So don't try to, I'm going to be a knockout puncher. You're not. You're a great defensive fighter. Yeah. You have great quickness. Yeah. Like you said, great ring IQ, great composure. Just be that.
And I thought Gamboa, the style of Gamboa worked against Devin Haney last night. Don't forget, I've known this dude since he was like 14, 15 years old. We've been in the ring together, all that kind of stuff. He's naturally a very good counter puncher. Yeah. He can be first. We saw it last night. But naturally, he'd rather use that fast twitch, that little half step back and come right back. Half step back and come right back. Yeah. That's more of his pace and that's more of his rhythm. And he really wasn't, Gamboa didn't allow him to get into his rhythm last night. And it wasn't because Gamboa was being smart and I'm not going to let you do what you want to do. Yeah. Gamboa's 37 now. He's just a little over the hill. He's a step behind Devin Haney the whole time. And, you know, I think the fight was... the way it looked was just as much Gamboa as it was Devin Haney, but in a negative way for Gamboa. Not that Gamboa was doing anything that was extravagant or anything like that.
It's a different level or a different angle, but like people say, it's hard to look good against Shawn Porter because of how you fight. To Gamboa's level, it wasn't the skill or anything. It was he held a lot. He was, you know, kind of punching out of the clinches. He was kind of just rushing in sometimes. It just wasn't a appealing fight to watch from Gamboa's side.
Right.
So it's tough. You're not going to look perfect in that fight. So I think to come out with a win, not injured, proved yourself after a shoulder injury, get another notch on the belt.
Yeah.
I think it was good. But yeah, it's something where it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
And
So
Gamboa at the point in his career, he's a survivor.
100%. And
He's-
that's kind of
he's
what they
ready.
said.
He gave me 1-2 rounds, and
I thought he won 2 rounds.
Yeah.
in
I
all
gave him
fairness.
2 rounds.
Yeah, I gave him 2
yeah,
rounds.
that's all he got. But
Yeah.
at this point,
I
You
gave
could
him
give
both.
him-
I
yeah,
gave him both
earned
rounds.
2
You know,
rounds.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
earned
think.
2
I
rounds.
think he earned one, and I gave him
the
another
other one. Yeah. But
it's- all right. So it's been about 24 hours. Who he fights next?
we've been waiting too long.
You know, it's been too long. You know
Who
the
does he
question
fight
you
next?
get.
Right.
About 30 minutes after the fight.
I don't know.
I have no clue.
I don't know. I mean, because
He still needs to.
and there's so many right now. I think everyone's focused on the big names. I wouldn't even know like a secondary guy, a guy
Me too.
who's 4th or 5th. You know what I mean?
I was
That
gonna
they-
say Luke Campbell, Carl Frampton. That's tough fights. That's tough.
Well, because
fights.
Luke's getting in the ring with Ryan.
I'm
What
saying.
next
Yeah,
week or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that?
Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
But I do
around
like
then.
that you threw out Frampton's name. I mean, I think that's a
That's
a
tough
good name.
fights, though.
Well, wait, this is where you at. You're a world champion.
Yeah,
now.
you're right. You're right.
You know?
You're right. You're right.
That's the
We
thing.
ain't doing
with-
this no more.
Yeah, and that's the thing with you know what I
I
mean.
don't know
Like
what that was.
all that.
Is that a spider?
I don't know.
I thought you said we ain't tiptoeing no
I thought
more.
you
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you said we
Yeah,
ain't tiptoeing
that's
no
what I'm
more.
saying.
Well, it was tiptoeing. Yeah, I knew that too.
But
Yeah.
that's one thing that I tell a lot of fighters that are young. I say, hey, don't rush it. Be patient and let it come to you. Learn, grow, do everything that you need to do, because once you get to that point, there's no looking back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the only way you go back is if you lose, and what is worst case scenario you never want to do.
And
you
even
know?
from a public perception thing, if you end up where it is top guy, where you're fighting all those guys,
Yeah.
and then you take a step back and fight another guy, that's where the public perception's like, oh, he's cherry picking. So that if you make sure you're ready when you get there, 'cause when you get there, you're there.
And I really do feel that we're moving out of that era where guys are gonna take what the heck do you even call it? Not a tune-up fight, but like when you're a
Lesser
champion,
fight, cherry picking fight.
Yeah, that we're out of that era now where guys are gonna do that. Guys are gonna step
We got
up
a
and
guy at
continue to step
147
up.
always trying to do a church.
Nah,
Oh,
nah,
yeah, you
it's
talking about you fought for Melo?
nah. He wasn't talking about. But he wasn't talking about Pamela. But I mean, I was gonna say like even with
I wasn't talking
myself.
about him.
I know.
Even with
I got you.
even with myself, we have circumstances.
For sure.
Beyond these circumstances, that fight would have never happened.
Yeah.
And
we know that.
I mean, everybody knows that. But I'm just saying, I think that
Past that.
I really do believe that we're coming out of that era of guys that are saying, "Well, I just won the championship. Let me just have
Take
a
a few.
a money. What do they call that? A money fight or something? Money grab? Yeah.
Hometown fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree, and I think there are, but I think there are circumstances where it will happen, and it's such a reactionary thing in the boxing fan or expert community.
Yeah, it's quick.
Like if anything, thankfully, just to go back to you, everyone knows you're willing to fight anyone.
Yeah.
So when Formella's announced, nobody was like, "Oh, Shawn Porter's ducking so and so." It was just the circumstances. So you'll have that, where everyone else has a fight coming up, or somebody's injured, or you have a mandatory. Where these things do happen. So it is something where it's not like somebody's not fighting the guy you want, and he's immediately a bum, and he's terrified of 7 fighters.
I'm gonna tell y'all how that fight happened, and then we'll move forward. So around April, my dad calls me, and he's got the gym built up in the backyard, and he's like, "Hey, you got to get back training." And I'm like, "All right, I'll get back training, but ain't nothing gonna happen, because of the circumstances that we're in. It's COVID and quarantine. I mean, like leave one quarantine, go to another go right
one.
back to.
Yeah.
So I'm literally thinking nothing's gonna happen, and then. Start getting calls from all these different reporters. Hey, we hear boxing might come back. How do you feel about fighting without people in the stands? All that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, no. I'm not doing that. I just fought the stables. You want me? No, that's not happening.
Yeah.
And between the end of April and June, I had this revelation. And I'm like, right now, people need sports. People want to see athletics. Right now, boxing is in a position where we can really catapult our sport.
You got Mike there.
Yeah, I know it's right here. We
Got him.
we can catapult our sport. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
We can
spell
take
it.
our sport
To
next
another
level.
to another level.
Yeah.
Or if anything, have more eyes on us right now than ever before. So I told my dad, I said, hey man, I think I want to get back in the ring. And he says, I thought you didn't want to fight. You just getting back in good conditioning and, you know, waiting all this to shake out. I said, listen, I really do feel like God's telling me that I should get in the ring now. I said, right now, no sports are happening. And whenever things do happen for boxing, I think these people need to see something great.
Yeah.
They need to be reminded of what's out there. And I said, I want to be the one to really kick it off and start it off. And even though boxing started in June, we got in as soon as we could. I was trying to get in July. I really was trying to be one of the first guys. And, you know, my dad comes back, hey, we're not going to get this guy. We're not going to get that guy. And then it just turned out that it was Formella. And I looked at the dude and I told my dad, I said, this is not a good look. I said, I'm going to chase this dude around the ring all day because all the film I saw, he just was moving.
Yeah.
I'm like, and it's just going to look like I'm a bully. And I don't want to look like a bully. I want to like look good. He says, hey, if this is all we can get.
That's it.
And if this is what you want, then, you know, so we went on ahead and did it. And turns out I get a guy who's not only not going to use the ring all night the way we expected, but he stood in there, took the fire, tried to release some fire back. Yeah. And it ended up being like a pretty decent fight. And I said, you know what? This is what boxing needed right now. Yeah. And I just hope that I inspire these other guys to say, hey, bump the no crowd, bump what's going on right now. Let me get in there and do it for
my
you didn't
career. Take a step back. You had a great performance.
Yeah. And dude was like 24-0 or something.
And I mean,
like
you're
that.
in there, just these circumstances in general, anyone, you're going to be in there with who you can be in there with in a normal year. 2020, as we know, is not a normal year.
Yeah.
So it's something where that's going to happen. Just get in there, do your job, on to the next.
And with that being said, I felt like last night was just not a normal night of boxing. Like we see these guys.
It was a bad night of boxing.
It was
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
I'll let you say.
I was on a vacation and on vacation. Sean texted me, you watching boxing? I was like, oh no. I turned it on. Said, Sean wasting my time.
What's worse about it is there were 2 fight cards.
Yeah.
So typically you're like, oh, 2 fight cards. If this one's bad, I can jump to this one. That was like 2 boats were sinking, and you were like, all right, let me check that boat. And then it's like, oh, damn, this one's sinking. Let me go back to that one.
It's like being at the grocery store during COVID and you getting out of one line to get into that.
It's like these lines are super long, but
stand over there.
There were some mismatches. There were some guys that looked like me, which is not great. But yeah, it was heavier set is what I was alluding to.
Yeah, I got you.
I just want to make sure. Yeah.
Fly with a bun.
Yeah, that's it. But that, it was one of those nights. It wasn't it.
Because even
we've been spoiled too, though. We've been spoiled by some great boxing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just
In
recently.
General. That's what I'm saying. So,
but I mean, like when you match up King Kong, Luis Ortiz, you don't know that the guy he's getting in the ring. You think you got a guy who's going to be durable for a couple of rounds.
Show was.
And this dude gets in the ring. Luis Ortiz misses the punch, and dude goes down.
It connected.
No.
It connected.
It's COVID.
And it technically
a lot of people been going down from body shots.
It technically connected. But
I wouldn't say that.
He was upset.
I wouldn't say that.
We were all upset.
I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
We were all upset.
But I wouldn't say that without a backup. You know what I mean? Like I read about it, and they say that dude missed with the punch, but he got hit. Alexander Flores got hit with the punch, but went up against the ropes. That punch hurt him, and as he was coming forward, even though that right hook to the body missed.
The floating rib shot. Lance Lewis said that. They was like, did you just make this up?
Yeah. He got hit with Luis Ortiz's forearm. And it hit him in the eye. And so it was like, he bounced off the ropes, got hit in the eye, and was just like, that's it.
What?
I'm done.
He got hit with a WWE.
What?
He got hit with the forearm. I don't know, but it was not pleasant to watch.
Yeah.
Those fights it was rough, but it is what it is. We have good fights.
What did he hit him with a forearm?
Hit him with the people's elbow.
What, he did like this, you said?
I don't know.
All right, cool.
I read it. I didn't see a video. I read it.
I am so sure we're not going to go dive deep into that fight.
We can't.
No.
But here was okay. So here's what I was impressed with.
Okay.
Even though Luis Ortiz is 42, 43-ish.
He's 41. Dang, you disrespectful.
He's 42, 43-ish.
Oh, you doing that? Okay. I see
my dude was ready for the fight.
Yeah.
My dude
in shape.
My dude in shape, prepared, and he comes out to the ring like dripping the sweat. Wife sits down and wife be like, "Whoa, what round is it?" Like the fight's about to start. She's like, "Well, he's sweating like he's gone a couple of rounds." You could see that it didn't matter how long Alexander was gonna stand up. It was only a matter of time before King Kong was gonna get him out of there because of where his mindset was. And it's that championship type mindset.
He felt like he's above this.
Absolutely, but there's a difference between being above it and not
Still
taking it
handling your
serious,
business.
and being above it and taking it and handling
And
your
showing
business.
that you're above it,
Yeah.
which is what he did. But
Yeah.
that was let's move on to literally
Hey,
to literally,
before we,
literally anything else.
You guys left me 135, second highest division in boxing.
I would say
147 is the hottest right now.
147 is the hottest, but
Yeah,
we got some hot stuff.
They
135 is hot.
They
They
everywhere.
tried to say they tried to slip in there that 135 was the hottest division. Last
That's not
night.
the hottest.
And I was
Yeah.
like, wait a
They
damn
did do
second.
that.
They're
Nah,
like,
it's not
"Hey,
the hottest."
division in boxing. I was like, 147
147
doesn't
is
exist anymore.
It's lit.
Yeah. But
It's
even heavyweights,
Heavyweight's lit too.
my
yeah.
thing was heavyweight.
Yeah,
But
147
you don't have
110.
as many numbers at heavyweight
For
as you do at
proven
135.
numbers up there as well.
Yeah.
I mean for you guys.
Yeah.
At heavyweight, there's some guys where you're like, they could be there, but
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
sure.
Man, you ain't
Yeah,
giving
that's
the 147 fighters no credit. You need
That's
to move on.
That's true.
Yeah.
So let's rank it real quick. You got 135, you got 147,
All right.
and you got
Heavyweight.
heavyweight.
I got
Rank
140.
those, and I'm gonna throw another one in.
I got 147. I got heavyweight, and no. I got
I was
heavyweight
rolling.
and 147 heavyweight 135.
What you
I'm
got?
with you,
Is that what you got?
100%. Same.
I'm gonna go.
Let's go.
I'm gonna go
Let's go.
147, 135.
Oh,
heavyweight.
okay.
I feel like there's more at 35. There's-
Younger guys too.
and younger guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
But then we got 168.
Yeah. Some guys up there.
Then we have 168.
Some guys.
Oh, we
Some
get.
guys
Oh,
up
we
there.
get. Oh, we getting. Caleb.
Why are you whispering? Hold on. That's my thing.
I don't want it to be either of you guys. It's the yin yang twins
Oh,
thing.
how did you make it your thing? I don't understand.
No, that's. I mean, you know.
What you gonna do? Sue me for
Nah, I
whispering?
can't do that.
You trademark whispering.
Nah, just embarrass you.
Yeah. You're not a yin yang twin.
Hey, let's get back to boxing real quick because the hottest thing that's happening. Now,
Got a big fight this weekend.
well, hold on.
Oh,
Though.
he wanted to talk on 168.
Oh, he got
I'm
some.
gonna throw this hot wax on you.
I will sue you on camera.
Canelo.
Oh yeah, versus.
Yeah, and he's a free agent.
Canelo
Shout out.
is packing up.
Man.
Yep.
No, he's not.
He
packed up.
heading south.
No, he packed up. He's gone.
He heading
he's
south.
already got
Oh, no,
it,
he's
dude.
still packing,
No,
right?
he's out of there.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He had everything packed, waiting.
See him
at
on
the
the
door.
15th.
Right, so, all right, so everything. Okay, yeah,
He had it right
everything's waiting at the
and they
door.
were like, "Yeah, you're out." He's like, "All right, take it easy. Be cool."
Does he just bounce around free agent, kind of like Mikey Garcia?
Absolutely,
It's no point in signing with nobody when you're that big.
absolutely.
I would absolutely agree. With
He's gonna go around there, round boxing, and tax all y'all asses.
Yeah.
Anthony said it here first.
Hey, but what about the fight they talking about?
He's going around boxing. He's taxing all y'all asses.
Starting with
Caleb Plant.
you. So you had to change your heart between the announcements of Saturday and Sunday.
What you mean? No, I've been saying he said he was
that
gonna
what
get
he said?
taxed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he stuck with that.
Okay.
Yeah, he said that.
Canelo is different, man. You know what? I'll feel better if Caleb would fight Benavidez first.
I forgot all
and,
about
and
that
the
fight.
winner fights Canelo.
I forgot all about that fight.
From
when
the
they-
difference of level going from the last guy he fought to what he's about to fight. If he fights Canelo, he has, man, that's different, man.
you have to consider that.
That's different,
I
man.
think us like we're on a different side of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we're
that's-
not in his bank account. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh,
we
no.
not his-
If I'm him, I'm taking the
not-
fight.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm taking the fight.
If you're him, you taking the fight.
Yeah.
But if you're not him, you saying, "Hey, man, take another one."
No, if I'm in his corner, I'm saying take the fight. Get this money.
Get the money and not the win.
I mean, if I'm his advisor, yeah, we're not fighting this.
Caleb Plant has an absolute chance of beating Canelo. A decent one. And a pretty damn decent one.
I'm agreeing with that, and that's unbiased. I'm very unbiased in saying that.
I'm unbiased from the standpoint of Caleb versus Canelo.
I'm glad you used that word too. I wasn't sure if it was.
But
a word.
I am biased towards the Canelo Lara fight, as we've brought up on the show before. It's a sore spot for me. But if you look at Canelo, the guys he struggled with, move, great footwork, defensively responsible fighters.
The
He's
thing
obviously
is,
improved. He's improved.
The thing is, we have not seen him struggle in years.
He didn't struggle against Triple G at all.
And
that was a different type of struggle.
For sure, but like he didn't
the
struggle
dude's right in
against
front
Triple
of
G,
him.
though.
You know what I mean? Like he made the fight harder than
you
it had
can't
to
even
be
bring
both
up
times.
Floyd. Floyd is out of here.
And Canelo was like 13 at the time.
And don't get me wrong, I feel like if Caleb fight those couple elite guys like that, maybe Charlo and Benavidez, then Canelo, I think he's a little more ready.
I think that
I just think, man,
Caleb Plant is the best 168 pounder.
He's gonna give him hell. He's gonna give Canelo hell.
Yeah.
But Canelo is different.
Yeah, no. I agree 100%.
He is different right now. It sucks, but he is. He did it from 147 all the way up.
He's 54. He fought Floyd.
Oh,
54.
I always say 147.
But yeah, that would be crazy. That would be like the reverse Shawn, where he went like from heavy to small. But yeah, Caleb Plant is I think the best athlete at that division, and I think Caleb has everything. If you look at what Canelo struggles with, I think Caleb has all of that. The only thing, and we kind of mentioned it, I think, obviously avoiding Canelo's power, but also can Caleb land with some power on Canelo. But
and Caleb in that fight, Caleb's fighting Canelo, the BS, and
possibly though
he's fighting the BS.
But listen, if Canelo, we'll say that's on for hypotheticals, and we're on a podcast for Showtime. Shawn Porter,
Right.
It's on Showtime. Hypothetically,
Okay.
that would be more to Caleb's promotional thing because of Al's relationship with Showtime.
Yeah.
So if anything, I'm not sure there is that political. Like, if it would be different if it was on DAZN and Caleb was going there when Canelo was still signed there, because then maybe you could see a little funny business. But
Yeah, that's true.
Canelo, I just think he's so good. But Caleb, man, I think he's got a shot.
I love that you think he's got a shot.
I do.
Because really all it takes is being open-minded and saying, what can I do to beat this guy?
Yeah.
And then it's getting prepared. I haven't talked to the camp yet, but I really do imagine everybody is high-fiving saying this is what we've been preparing for.
Yeah.
No, sorry to cut you off. And even if he's fighting him, do not take the fight next month. You need.
I did see that.
Do not take the fight next month.
What
it's
if-
not a good idea?
Let me float a hypothetical. What if Caleb? We know Caleb stays in good shape.
Oh, yeah,
we know
he's
he's
in
got the
tip-top.
best strength and conditioning coach in the game, Coach Larry Wade. What if he's in shape? And what if Canelo's he hasn't fought? He's been dealing with some litigation issues. What if Canelo maybe's not?
Yeah.
Floyd left for 2 years, came back and texted.
Well, Floyd is.
He's different.
One of the greatest fighters in the history of boxing.
Canelo's one of the greatest fighters in the history of boxing.
He's up there,
But
he's not up there with Floyd. I don't think.
They released a statement saying that Canelo's been training and being
Well, that's
staying
what they're
ready.
supposed to say.
Right. And what I was gonna say was I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we don't know either.
Yeah.
Like that was just a hypothetical. What if?
either way it
well,
goes,
yeah.
we know personally, I would love for Caleb to win.
For sure.
All of us.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know him, but I met him with Shawn.
Yeah.
Personally, I would love, but that's just
Solid guy.
Yeah.
Caleb playing
Yeah.
solid guy.
I really do feel like, well, who else can challenge Canelo? Let's talk about Benavidez. Obviously,
you guys shot me down last time. I thought that was a good shot. Y'all shot me down.
Did we shoot you down?
Yeah, y'all shot me
Oh,
Shot you down for what?
down. Yeah, y'all just said.
Benavidez and
He don't move his head enough, all type of stuff.
Did I?
Yeah.
Was that on the podcast?
Yeah. It's on record.
Is it?
Yeah.
I said that.
Yeah, it's on plaques.
Dude, big. I think that's really the only thing that's been the big advantage for him in the ring. David Benavidez is his size,
and power.
His size. Yeah, he's bringing the. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You're right.
You're just talking about he's just a
bringing
big
the
guy that
power,
has power,
along
yeah.
with the size.
Yeah.
You're right. No, not you, because you strong as shit. But there are some big guys out there that's like.
I thought you was gonna ask me to punch you.
No.
I'm about to say, oh man, it's an opportunity.
I was
Punch
gonna
me.
use
I
you
was
as an
like,
example, but then I remember a lot of the things we've been through.
Okay, let it go.
Oh, so you were saying it's different to be a big guy that doesn't have power.
Yeah,
than
but
Benavidez
he's
has power.
carrying that power.
true.
Malik
with him,
Scott. I always think of him.
Why you-
Scott just catching a stray out
I
of
swear to
nowhere.
God, like I don't think anybody
For
knows who
some
that
reason,
is.
every time I'm watching box, I'm like, he's like a little jabber. I said, bro, you bigger than me. Malik Scott. I see you on IG.
I hope Malik Scott is just randomly tuned into the podcast. He's like, oh man, I'm liking this. And he's like, wait, what the hell? Like, what the hell did I do? I think Benavidez is an interesting fight, but not as interesting as Plant to me for Canelo.
Yeah. I mean, if Plant stay on it all night,
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Just he gonna be in there out there, pot shotting?
Excuse me. I think that this is beyond Mayweather. This will be the toughest fight that Canelo's been in
Lara.
a very long time.
Yeah.
Lara's
It'll be
second.
tougher than the Lara fight.
I don't
It'll be
disagree though,
tougher than
because
Lara
Caleb has
fight.
more power than Lara does.
He's got more power. He's bigger,
Yeah.
more range.
Power don't matter to Canelo. I seen somebody hit him in the face with a brick.
Have you?
Triple G.
Triple G, you have to say.
I was like, with actual brick? That's crazy.
I mean,
You don't hit him with the Debo?
Jacobs got some killers off him. He just,
I don't want to get into that fight.
dang, what? It's a conspiracy theory?
Nah, man, no, nothing like that at
that's
all. I
his
just
guy.
listen. Number one, that's my dude, but
Yeah.
I just feel like he didn't perform the way I expected him to perform
Yeah.
in that. That being said, Caleb Plant has a legitimate chance to beat Canelo. I think that this will be the toughest and most competitive fight that Canelo's been in a long time. That includes Triple G. Styles make fights. I think obviously you already said it. Caleb Plant has the style to beat Canelo Alvarez. It's a matter of the how long. And there's 12 rounds.
Yeah.
How long?
It's kind of like with the Leo thing. Leo Gervonta. We was worried how long.
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah, I think the separation is a little wider for Caleb than it would be in my mind for
Caleb-
Leo.
Caleb got way better feet than Canelo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way
Sure.
better.
And that's why I think his
Gonna be the
shot.
key.
He can get in those exchanges and get out. And I don't think Canelo is going to be able to cut off the ring as he's able to do with other fighters because I think Caleb's such a good athlete.
And Caleb never really exchanged for a while. He's in there, out of there.
Yeah. Very, very responsible defensively.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Here's the kicker for y'all.
Oh, the
Okay.
kick.
This dude, Caleb Plant, I'm sure you probably have recognized this. And you
Don't
may
give
have
away
too.
secrets.
He's one of the most mentally focused athletes I've ever seen. He works extremely hard, and he's one of those guys that follows that cliche of whatever you put your mind to, you can do it.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that actually lives that.
Yeah.
And I live it, so I know that it's true. Whatever you put your mind to, you could do it. But this dude will work his ass off and come in that ring and actually do what you may feel that he can't do.
Yeah.
And then look at you. He won't even smile at you. He'll just look at you, go like that, and walk off. And that will be how he wins and beats Canelo and shows the world.
And prove me
He's
wrong.
not-
Because he's one of those guys, like you say, he mentally tough. He came from nothing. He know how he's not going back. That's his motto. I'm not going back.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do whatever I take to stay right here.
And what I'm saying to that is it takes you from being this good to being this good.
Okay.
And on a night where you've been like that forever, on a night that it means more than ever,
And you need to be there.
and you know that you have that,
Yeah.
you're there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Ain't taking nothing from the guy. I just feel like it's
no.
that level.
To say
that jump,
that
man.
anyone would lose the Canelo, I don't think is a disrespect. to
No,
anyone.
it's just
Yeah.
that jump, man.
yeah,
That jump.
and I'm being as unbiased as possible. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I really do. I believe that Caleb can pull it off.
I would love that fight.
And they both been out the ring for what, over a year now?
Caleb had a fight earlier this year,
Did he?
I believe.
No,
the
was it earlier this year?
subway
that fight
guy.
was
The subway guy.
That wasn't earlier.
No,
this
no,
year.
no. He
That
had a
was
fight
last year.
after that.
No, he didn't.
No,
he
he
fought
fighting
the
by himself.
German. He fought the German earlier this year.
What is he talking about?
I do know.
He
what
fought
you're
a
talking about.
German?
He did.
Yeah, he fought the German.
Oh, he must have taxed him.
Yeah.
It was. I think they ended
I'm
up
about
like
to look this
stopping the fight or throwing the
it's
towel in or something like
yeah,
that.
I do remember that now.
Listen, we're beyond our time. It's an hour and 7 minutes.
We aren't gonna talk about the big fight this weekend.
We'll talk about it.
What? I keep forgetting what fight is Is it?
Hey,
is it,
why he gonna do you like that?
Is it Crawford and Brooke?
Guy picks Crawford one time over him.
Hey, he don't even want to
Forgets
talk
he
about it
doesn't
no
even
more.
know.
All right, so y'all want to get out of here and then put it on the clips?
We can do that.
Let's do that then. That way we can just keep this
Okay.
at right around the hour because we still got to do an intro.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, we do for sure.
What's that? The cut? What was that?
Yeah,
I was
You're not
about
the
to say, I ain't know what to say. I ain't know
You're
what to
not
say.
the producer.
I ain't know what to say. Should I just outro it and use the outro as the intro?
No, because
We still live on the podcast.
Can we do that?
Yeah, so hey,
Okay.
thank you guys for tuning in. This was the Porterway Podcast.
Let's bring
episode,
it into an actual one.
No, that's it. That's it.
that-
That's it.
all right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
episode 8. Check
Damn,
out
boy.
Go ahead. Do it again.
Damn.
Kick it off again.
I already kicked it off.
Listen, we having fun. Please keep subscribing. Tell a friend.
To tell a friend.
And we'll be here
How many
same
of us have them?
We'll be here same day. God bless y'all. Don't tell me you didn't enjoy what you saw, because I know you did. What you need to do now, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit that notification button. Check us out every week, every Tuesday, something new for you right here on the Porterway Podcast.